Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Coffee and a Card. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. And this is a really fun day. So there is new product available today. So this is what we call the March online exclusives. And what that means is that they can only be viewed online. There's no physical catalog for you to see, but you can go to my online store and you can browse all of the new products. When you click on my store link and you're shopping your products, just click on what's new, and it'll show you everything that came out today, including a couple of new kits and some really cool clipboards that I'm excited. They're like clipboard easels, so you can set it up like an easel on your desktop, and you can put a card every day that you get on there, or you could put a template that is your inspiration. You could put a tutorial that you're working from, or you could just switch it out every month for like a different theme of the month that you want. So check out the clipboard easels. They're really cool. So I'd love to show you one, but I just got to order it myself this morning. So I will definitely show those once they arrive. So welcome everyone who's coming in. We're just talking about the online exclusives that came out today. So be sure to check those out. And I'm going to make a card today using some of that new product as well. So thanks you guys for coming in an hour early. I'm just prepping you for the time change. Oh, wait, no, that'd have to be the other direction. The time changes this weekend, you guys. And the crazy thing about the time change is my dad leaves Sunday morning for Guatemala. He's going on a missions trip, and we're trying to figure out, like, what time do you have to get up? Because his ride is coming at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but the time changes at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it is just like blowing my mind trying to figure out what time to set the alarm so that he doesn't miss his ride to the airport. So a little crazy. I don't think much of the time change. It doesn't bother me, but it's a little complicated this time, just trying to figure out what time to set an alarm so that he can get to the airport. All right, you guys, I am going to start with some happy mail. And this is what I call it when y'all send me a card and I get to show off your creativity. So I love seeing what you're making. I learn stuff from you guys, and it's so fun to see you using what you own. I really want you to craft and use what you have. So this is my way to get to show off your creativity. And so that is Happy Mail. And I actually remembered to go to the P.O. box yesterday and check that out. So let me start with making sure these envelopes are not on camera. I try not to show your address online. It's one thing for me to give my own address out, but I'm not trying to give your address out. So I always try to make sure I'm off camera for those. Okay. This first one comes from Cynthia Graham from Texas. And it says, thanks. She's got her message there. Just because she got some designer series paper there on the inside, but that is super cute. Okay, next I've got one from Brenda Taylor from Minnesota, and let's see, she sent her card inside out. That's a great way to protect your card too. So it says happy birthday wishes, and this is using the product of the month paper from February. So that's what she's using here to show on her card. So then we've got one from Vesta Streeb in Colorado. And she has also sent hers inside out. So just switch that. So it says big thanks. Love that blue paper. That's beautiful. And then her message on the inside. Really cute card. Diane, I do too. Diana, sorry. I love when cards are decorated inside also. Totally agree with that one. And this one is from Janice Huberg from here in Iowa. And let's see here. It says creativity is messy. That's true. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. I was trying to figure out how to open the card. Look at that. How fun is that? Let me just flip that the other way. Eat, sleep, craft, repeat. I love that. That's so fun. Oh, here, sorry. I was a little bit lower. There we go. That is super cute. Okay, so that is our happy mail for today. So I'm just gonna set that aside. I go back and read all of your messages later. Yes, Diana, a fun pop-out card. So really, really fun. Okay, we are going to use a new bundle, and it is called Filled with Sweetness. It actually just arrived yesterday to me, and it's so fun to play with. I really like some of these die labels that are in here. You've got your strawberries. This is a strawberry. Those are blueberries. So you can cut out from the stamp set here. You can also cut out the heart. And then there's this large die on the outside, which makes a jar card. So you actually stamp this jar on it, and it's a folded die cut, and you can make a jar card. So we're not going to use that die today, but let me pull off the dies that we are going to use today. We need that one and the lid, and I need this one. I think that's it for now. Okay, and then we've got the messages like, you're the sweetest, love you very much, thank you. So we'll use some of those today. All right, so my card, oh, and this suite, I should also show you, has the Ladybug Picnic embossing folder. So we're going to use that today. So this is my card, except that it's going to be different. This is my sample card. This is the inspiration card that I made today. And we are going to, you can see that embossing in the background. We're going to make another version of it. Okay. So I'm going to be using strawberry slush and, see if I can get that out of here. We've got granny apple green. We've got some crumb cake, some white scrap. We've got some jars from the designer series paper. And I've got a scrap of this checkered paper. So I'm going to take these. Well, let me cut this first. We're going to do some die cutting and embossing. So we're going to take our granny apple green, and I'm going to cut this to, let's see here, 4 by 5 1/4. And I need 2 of these. So I've just grabbed a card base that I had in my card stash, and I'm cutting it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So 4 by 5 1/4, and we've got 2 of them. Okay. Most everything else is just scrap pieces that you're going to use on this card. So I'm gonna do this. Let's see, I'll set aside that granny apple green. And all right, so let's match up what we're going to do here. So we're going to use the embossing folder, and we're going to be embossing that 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a scrap of this designer series paper here, and I'm going to be using the, this is kind of the jar lid, the cover. So we're going to use that. On my white, I'm going to be doing this label. And then on this piece, this is a scrap of cloud cover. I'm sorry, crumb cake. I don't know why I just said cloud cover. Crumb cake. And I have added some adhesive sheets. So I already did it because I had to cut for my sample card. But with the adhesive sheets, all you're doing is you're pulling off, there's little strips on the adhesive sheets, and you're just pulling those off. And then I'm going to press it down, okay? And what that does is it turns this into a giant sticker. So now when I cut this very detailed die, it's already going to be a sticker for me. So I don't have to try to place like anything like that. I can just use it as a sticker, okay? So let me move all of these a little forward. And we'll grab our cut and emboss machine. So we'll start with I'll actually start with my embossing. So for the embossing, it's a 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to stick it in the embossing folder. I'm going to line it up on the little black line here. And then we're going to put it in spine first. And we'll put our 3D plate over the top. There we go. And we'll just crank it through the machine. Oh, and I have a teacup here on the other end that is totally in the way. So I'm going to move that. Okay. So I am going to try not to spill my tea everywhere. Okay. So I've got that embossed piece. So we'll look at everything once it's all through the machine. So first, I'll go back to my regular sandwich, which includes the thin plate, a clear plate, and then our die cutting, which I can do all of this at one time. So we're going to put our lid, we're going to put our white label, and we're going to put our little knotted the tie that we're going to use. Okay. There we go. So I'll just crank those through the machine. And once we get those out, I just slide all those onto my desktop here. Then I can get the machine out of the way so we can look at everything. Okay, so I just store my plates right inside the machine so then I don't lose them. All right, so we have the lid of our jar. We've got our white label here. And then we've got our little ties, which, oops, just pull that out of our die. So what that's going to do is it lines up on here, because this is like a fabric cover for your jar. And so it's got to have like a little thread that ties it. See that? So it kind of adds the detailing on the lid. Now we're not going to use it as a lid. We're going to use it like it's a tabletop. And I'll just save this because now I have more room to make more either of these ties or something else that might be detailed and can turn into a sticker. Oh, and then last but not least, we have our granny apple green ladybugs and little flowers. Okay. All right. So I'll bring back my card stuff here. We've got a 3 3/4 by 5 card insert, and I've got my tag. So I'm going to stamp "You're the Sweetest," and that's going to go on my tag. And then we're going to do a strawberry on the inside. And we're also going to do "Thank you." Now, during Happy Mail, we were talking about how we like decorating the insides of our cards. And I do too. But I like to not just put in a piece of white, but I like to carry the color combination into the inside as well. So I do this by using 4 by 5 1/4 for my granny apple green, layered with the 3 3/4 by 5 basic white. So what that does is it gives me the color combination from the front of the card carried into the inside. So I can layer those together, and then we'll put all of it on the inside of the card. green and the strawberry slush color combination. Okay, so then on the front of our card, I'm going to take my embossed piece and I'm going to take some crumb cake baker's twine. And just unwrap some here from the spool. And I'm going to wrap it around my card base. I'm just going to tape the end here. And we're going to wrap it around 3 times. So we'll do that. Add another piece of Scotch tape to hold that all down. And then I can trim off my excess. There we go. So we've got that. I'm going to spread it out just a little bit. There we go. And that's towards the bottom of that front panel. Then I can take the whole thing and we'll just add adhesive all the way around so that it adheres nice and flat to our card. There we go. Okay, so we need some jam. Now on my sample card, I also used a honey bear, which I think is super cute. But for this one, I'm going to use 2 different, I would say jam jars. And there is a sheet of designer series paper in this paper pack that has all these large jars and honey bears, and they're so easy to fussy cut. So even for me, who is not a huge fan of fussy cutting, this was actually super easy. So I've actually cut an entire 12 by 12 sheet, fussy cut, an entire 12 by 12 sheet of these jars already. All right, so we've got our peach and we've got our cherry here. Now we can begin to kind of see how our card's going to take shape. So first I'll grab this, and what I'm using it also kind of looks like a table, right? So a tablecloth hanging over a table. So that's how I'm going to kind of envision this. I'm going to peel off this backing here. Oh, and before I seal this down, I also want to show there's actually some little slits here. Let me use my scissors. See this? There's 5 of them in here. And the reason for that is you can actually cut this out, and there's a spoon that you can put inside of it if you're, making like a jar of jam with a spoon. But I'm just going to lay this over my card or over my tabletop and kind of round off so we've got this nice tabletop here. And then I can take my 2 jars, and first I'm just going to add adhesive to the bottom. Because ultimately, I want to dimensionalize these. But I got to get them on my tabletop first. Okay. So we'll just stick those here. And that's going to end up going on our card. And then we're going to have, keep these dies out of the way. We're going to have our little tag up here as well. Okay, so now I kind of know my placement. And I will add some dimensionals. Oh, Diana has a great point too, that if you add the 2 layers on the inside of your card, it helps to make it more solid if you're using a thinner, like if you're using regular basic white, adding the 2 layers can help make your card sturdier. That's a great point. All right, we've got You're the Sweetest. And now I'm going to use the edging on my dimensionals because it kind of covers more surface area quickly. And so I can just add some dimensionals. Now I'm going to add extra just because this is designer series paper. So it's going to easily want to cave in, and I want it to stay nice and level on my card. Okay. So we'll peel all these off. And we're just going to make like the little kitchen table that has some jam on it, waiting to be used for toast and jam at breakfast. So there's our little tabletop here. Let me just crease that down there. And then the absolute cutest are these strawberries and dots. And look at these. There's actual little tiny strawberries. How cute is that? So I'm going to take a strawberry and then some of this strawberry slush dots. The other ones are Misty Moonlight. We're going to add those here. And we have our little tabletop jam card. So there we go. And then our sample card, I'll bring that back because it was just a little bit different color combination because I was using the honey bear and the strawberry preserves. And so I just changed up my background color. So you can kind of mix and match depending on your colors here and the jams that you use. So your challenge, your creative challenge for this week is to use this layout, but use your own products because you may not have this set yet. Use your own products to make this layout and then post it over in the Handcrafted Blessings community group, and you'll be entered to win some embellishments. So I hope you enjoy this one. And don't forget to go check out the brand new online exclusives that are available today over in my online store. So thanks for joining me for Coffee and a Card. And don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. Have a great day.